When I was first diagnosed with MS, I very quickly became totally incapacitated. So really from one day to the next, I was unable to move. For about 3 months, I was flat out on a couch, couldn't do anything for myself and had to be looked after and cared for 24/7. But I was really lucky because I moved in with my sister, who's a medical doctor, and she looked after me 24/7. And the other thing that was really lucky is that my sister discovered Professor Jelinek's book, and it was about a year after he'd written it, and she read the book to me because I was too weak to even read it and to pick up the book in my own hands. And when she read the book, it was something that really made sense to me and really resonated with me, and it made sense because it was all based on evidence, and it gave me hope. And here was something that I could actually do to help myself to get better. When I was first diagnosed, I was in total shock. I didn't know what had hit me. I sort of went from being this young, independent woman in the prime of my life. I was 28 years old, and literally overnight I was incapacitated. I was shocked, I was overwhelmed, and I just felt completely hopeless. As soon as I discovered the OMS program, I started following the approach. So I changed my diet dramatically, started exercising, taking vitamin D supplements and meditating. And really in the early days, meditation was the only thing I could really do because I couldn't do anything else. And very slowly over time I started to improve. It was a slow process. It took maybe about a year for me to get some kind of normality, whatever that is, back into how I was feeling in my body. And I'd say probably about 3 or 5 years in order to feel well again. So it was a slow process. It was a lot of hard work. It took time and it took energy, but the whole time I knew, I had this confidence that it was working, and I could notice the small changes that were improving. So I continued improving over time, and then about 5 years ago now, in 2009, I was really worried that I was having a relapse. I had a very bad bout of flu, and I went to see a neurologist at the time, and he suggested that I have an MRI scan just to see what was going on. And I remember it so clearly, sort of waiting for the results of that scan, and much to my incredible amazement, the results showed that the lesions that I initially had disappeared. So I was pretty amazed about that, as was the neurologist. Since then, my health has just continued to improve. I must say now that I feel fitter, I feel healthier, I feel more full of life than even I did before I was diagnosed with MS. It's an incredible place to be, really, and something that I couldn't have foreseen 12 years ago, but I'm very happy to be here. To anyone newly diagnosed with MS, I would say the first thing you need to do is get onto the Overcoming MS website. All the information is there, and if you'd like to read a copy of Professor Jelinek's book, it absolutely changed my life, and I know that it has changed tens of thousands of people around the world since, and in the last 15 years. I'd say listen to other people's stories of hope and inspiration. I'd say join a community of like-minded people who can help you along your journey. I'd say really get to understand the evidence that's out there, and be kind to yourself. And most of all, I'd say empower yourself to heal.